We just have to not be horrible, and we should be good. Just don't be Alpha 7.
Okay, I didn't expect you to end it on that one. Okay, Alpha 7 is going to be in trouble on this segment, I can tell you that much. I mean, you're saying that teams are going to look quite comfortable and happy. I feel like it's going to be really rough today because you've got a few teams already pretty much soft qualified, like your Fireflux, your Power, Dragon Karas. But in the middle of the pack, it is going to be changing all day until we get to like the last 2-3 matches. Then teams might start to get locked in the top 8.
Well, let's take a look at the top 8 as well as the overall standings here for the survival stage whilst we continue to talk about this 7, because yes, some teams, as Max says, potentially soft locked as long as they get a little bit here and there, but of course there is an omission here from the top 8 that everybody's looking at, and if they don't make it, oh boy, that causes a whole can of worms to open.
I think the teams currently towards the top 4, I feel like, have me just set in mind that they're going to be moving on to the grand finals the way that they've been able to play. And even though number 4, Team Falcons, and number 5, Non-Stream Red Force, they're currently tied within points. Non-Stream Red Force just hasn't been able to show me the consistency that I usually want to see out of the teams that have been able to be there towards the top. Hora Esports, though, is going to be a big name for me. I'm really intrigued to see what this team is going to be doing, especially towards the later of the day, because if they do end up possibly being in a good position, could they maybe target somebody? Because I got a chance to talk to Sleepy right before this, and I straight up asked him, are you going to be targeting any teams if you're already pretty much qualifying towards the grand finals? He said, yes, we have one team in mind. He just wouldn't tell me which team, Neptura.
Speculation is just abounding over what team that could possibly be. To be honest, it could be any of them, though, because I think the point in-game, the point of targeting a team is to garner momentum and just try and get rid of a team very early, get those points on your tally immediately, because then I think in your mindset, when you've already won a match, or a fight rather, so early in the game, you're able to go into the rest of the game with so much more confidence, so much more momentum. So for me, for Hora, who have been a little lackluster so far, I really do feel like that's the way to go.
Here's the problem though, Max. Number 11. Alpha 7, our current returning title defenders here for PMWC. Are they going to make it?
I'm going to tell you, in that position, they're looking mighty hot droppable.
Is that your theory?
Maybe that's the team to eliminate early on. It would be very weird to have a finals without Alpha 7, possibly, right? That would be such a big outlier when it comes to storylines. But Alpha 7... last year, they had such a good year until PMGC. We don't talk about PMGC. Otherwise, PMWC, PMGO, PMSL Americas, they were on absolute fire. And the fact is not just Alpha 7, all of the Brazilian teams aren't performing. Intense Game, Influence Rage, all on that second page, which is a big shocker to me. So, are we going to have a Brazil-ness finals? No Brazilian teams in the finals. That's a word we'll have to think about it, but no Brazilian teams will be with.
You're so eloquent, Max. Let's shift gears here for a second, though, guys, and actually talk about the number 1, right? Obviously here for survival, looking brilliant. Fire Flux here. Talk to me about this position. Let's take a look at those top 4 teams looking brilliant overall.
Because right from the first day of group stages, something that we've been saying all along is that this whole lobby is very aggressive. This team is not wanting to do that. They have definitely adjusted to that. They're saying, you know what, let's let the other teams fight. And then if we get into a situation where we can actually gatekeep teams, let's actually go ahead and do that. And you can tell right there. On the left side is going to be, I believe, the stats from group stage. And then on the right side is going to be what they were able to achieve yesterday, which is just insane. They have already surpassed everything, and I'm hoping that they continue on this track. The big question mark for me for this team, especially today, Neptura, is going to be, can they actually be a little bit more aggressive? Because sometimes they set themselves up to be too passive and allow teams to just push up on them, and then what could have possibly been a win.
Big game, getting as much control as possible, playing that edge. We've seen many of those teams do that, and eventually one of those teams is going to fall. With the performance we've seen from Fireflux so far, I feel like, yes, it's been a huge uptick from what we saw in the group stage, but they don't have that background of aggressiveness, to put that word out there, that actually makes me confident that they're going to be able to fight against those teams that did have a really good stage. It's, again, about that momentum, about that